ready to film my question and answer that I have been putting off for the last couple weeks. And it hasn't been intentional, it's just that I had a throat infection, so I had laryngitis and I wasn't able to talk, never mind film a video. How I'll do this is I will put the questions in the description below as well as the times when I'm answering those specific questions. So if there is a specific question that you are looking to have answered, you can scroll through to the part that interests you and pass the other stuff if you're not interested. Okay, so I do want to start off by saying that I'm not a professional in the sense that I have not gone to school for nutrition, or I do not have a personal trainer's license or anything like that. I'm just a woman who lost 100 pounds without following any programs or diets or taking pills or potions, lotions, any of that stuff. I am just a woman who was tired of being overweight and decided to take control of my life. So this is my advice coming from me, what I've done. Everybody's body is different. The things that work for me may not work for you, and I don't claim to be some guru or some expert. I'm just a girl. Okay, so my first question comes from Moi, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And she asks, how many meals do you eat a day? I eat about 5 meals a day. So I have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then I have 2 snacks, one in between breakfast and lunch, and then another one between lunch and dinner. The types of foods that I generally eat, I can give you a really quick list of some regulars. For breakfast, egg whites is a big one, protein pancakes on the weekends, multigrain toast, cereal with protein powder mixed with my almond milk, bananas, yogurt, hard-boiled eggs. Those are just some of the things that I eat in the mornings. Now for lunch I often opt to have a salad, but I always add protein to that salad, so it'll either be a hard-boiled egg, low-fat cheese, it will be chicken, it will be fish, something else to go with the salad so that it holds me over for the rest of the day. The last thing I want to do is be hungry, especially when I'm in class. Some of the go-tos for my afternoon snack, I really enjoy Skinny Pop or Boom Chicka Pop, just the plain sea salt version of that. Really love cheese, so I'll have a piece of cheese or a string cheese. Quest bar, of course. Protein coffee. Coffee any time of the day is my favorite, so I will indulge in that. Dinner is always protein and vegetables, sometimes with a whole grain, sometimes not. It just depends on how my day is. If I've eaten a lot of carbs, if I've been heavy in the carbs for morning and lunch, then I may skip out on the carb. Okay, on to my second question, and it comes from DJ at DJ Fitness Journey. And her question is, what do you do to motivate yourself on the harder days? So one of the things that I do, as you've probably seen in my last YouTube video, is that I go into my bathroom and I talk to myself in the mirror. And I know that sounds really, really bizarre and weird and contrived, but it does work. I give myself pep talks, and usually a quick pep talk will get me going, ready to go, and ready to hit the gym, even on the hard days. Before that, in my earlier weight loss days, I made this folder, and this is something that really helped me throughout my weight loss when I was even having a hard time with the pep talks. So it's just a plain old folder that I took, and I scratched out this. And then I put a quote in here that I love, and then I had put all my weights, so my starting weight, the date that I started, and then every time I lost the pounds, I would cross these off, and usually did this about once a month, and so it was just really, really nice and motivating just to take a red marker and just keep crossing those weights down until I got down to my 136, which was my goal. I also have inside this folder measurements, so when I started up until now, and then I have some old photos. So these are some photos that I enjoy looking at and remembering how I looked at all my different sizes and appreciating the fact that I've come a long way. Inside this folder, I keep a picture of my mom because she is a huge motivation. She's a huge part of my journey, even though she's not here with me physically, and that's just what motivates me. But I think everyone has to find their own motivation, the things that push them to keep going. But if you make a folder like this might help you. I'm not sure. It might be weird, but it's what helped me. So my third question comes from Andrea at Dre Joyanne, And her question is, how was your recovery from your tummy tuck? How long were you out of commission for? To be honest, I anticipated a lot more pain than what I actually felt, but I think that every person, their pain threshold, which doctor they choose, if you get lipo or if you don't get lipo, how far your incision goes around, because I had an extended tummy tuck, so mine went just past my hips, but there are others that go all the way around if you're getting a lower body lift. So all of these things play a part in recovery, but the pain for me wasn't so bad. Now, I've heard of other women that I've told them it's not that bad, it's not that bad. And then they get back to me like, are you nuts? Like, that was terrible. And then I've heard other women say, yeah, you're right, it's totally manageable. I think it was the muscle repair that hurt the worst. Whenever I'd laugh, whenever I would sneeze, whenever I would have to cough, I definitely felt a pain, sort of like a really, really intense core workout, like the day after or 2 days after, that achy feeling. That's kind of how I felt all the time. But after a week, I was good. I was driving. I was on my own after I got my 2 drains out. I was doing stairs. Within the 2-week period, I was out boating with my family. I mean, I had to take it easy. I didn't do anything to overextend myself. I knew my limits, and I listened to my body. If I felt any kind of aching or if I felt any kind of pull, especially with my arms, I would stop what I was doing. I would put whatever it is down, and it was hard for me to rely on other people, but I got comfortable with that idea pretty quickly because I wanted to make sure that I recovered the best that I could, and that I would be back in the gym as quick as I could. I didn't want to go back to the gym if I wasn't really ready to go back to the gym and risk ruining. I didn't want to have a revision. I didn't want to have to pay for this again. I didn't want to have to go through this again. I was just very focused on listening to my doctor, doing everything that he asked me to do, doing everything that my nurse asked me to do, asking questions, and trusting in the process. I hope that answered your question. I can tell you this. The tummy tuck and the arm lift is worth every single blood, sweat, tear, and dollar that I put into it. 100%. I would do it again, like this. So my next question comes from Katoom Bagali, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And her question is a little bit more intense. So it says, once you hit rock bottom and decided to change, how did you do it? How did you get off the couch and into life? I just feel so stuck. I want to change, but the pull of hibernating is just as strong. Chew! Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Apparently that question has me all emotional and I just had to sneeze it out. Okay, girl. I totally get where you're coming from with this. You guys know that when I started my journey, I was coming out of a very, very dark place. I lost my mom to suicide, and then my husband left me. I was not in any way, shape, or form healthy mind, body, or soul. I was just in a very, very dark place. But I knew that the biggest problem with my weight, like the part that was out of control the most, the part that I was going to have to work extra hard on, was the eating. I identified myself as an emotional eater. And so for me, the whole weight loss thing, changing the way I was eating, plus moving, going to a gym, this all seemed extremely overwhelming to me, especially at that time. It was a low point in my life. So I decided to focus just on eating to begin with. So the first 4 to 6 months, I just worried about my eating. And I started off small. I stopped drinking soda. I cut my carbs back a little bit. I ate more vegetables. Just little things. Stopped having a dessert after every single meal. Just little tiny changes that added up over time. I also downloaded an app, which is free, and I 100% recommend it. I never recommend or try to sell you anything that I haven't tried or used myself. But it's called Lose It. It's a Lose It app, and you can download it for free, and you can use it to track your meals. And that is what helped me lose my weight. because there was so many times that I was eating that I didn't even realize I was eating. Because I was an emotional eater, things got popped in my mouth that I wasn't even really registering. I wasn't mindful. So the Lose It app helped me become more mindful of what I was putting in my mouth, because every single time I put something in my mouth, I had to log it onto the app. So, that clicked for me. Once I got my eating under control and I lost a good, 20, 25 pounds, I started adding movement. A little bit, little tiny bits at first. Walking. Going to the gym and using the treadmill. Little tiny things. Dancing. Just little things. Parking far away from the grocery store so I'd have to walk the parking lot. All these little things, they seem insignificant. They seem like, seriously, like that's not going to make any difference. But they do. They add up. And as you get better at these little things, you can add more things. And as you're dropping more weight and you're realizing that you can do this is so doable, you become more confident and you can add more things. Small things add up to big things. Okay, so my next question comes from Vaishali Sharma, and I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing these names right. And her question is, what was your workout when you first started this weight loss journey? I am at 231 pounds and completely lost. No idea how and where to start. Losing all self-esteem and confidence day by day. Please help. Aw. Girl, I totally get you there. 231 pounds, that's very close to where I started. I started at about, I think it was 237. Yeah, 237 pounds. So just a few pounds off. Like I mentioned in the question before, I did start my weight loss journey with just focusing on food. I knew I was an emotional eater, so I knew I had to get that under control. But when I did eventually add exercise, I started off really, really slow. I was 30 when I started my journey, and up until those 30 years, I was not active. I wasn't active much as a child. I played softball in the summers. I ran and played in my backyard, but I wasn't very active growing up. So exercise was new to me. In fact, the first time that I got on a treadmill, I actually had to get off and go to the bathroom to vomit. That's how out of shape I was. But I just kept up with it. I walked and then I began to jog, and my jog was probably slower than some of your speed walks. And then, I worked up to running, and still my running is probably still much, much slower than some of you. But it's not about, comparing yourself to other people. It's just about improving yourself and, being in competition with yourself and knowing that you need to add a little bit each time and push yourself just a little bit further, whether that's increasing your weights, increasing your time, increasing the incline on the treadmill, or, going to a different level on the bike, whatever it is, whatever you feel comfortable. Your exercise has to be something that you enjoy doing, or else you're not going to do it, right? You're going to find a reason or excuse not to do it. So in the summer, I really enjoy walking outside. I enjoy hiking. I enjoy taking runs on the beach. There's things that I love, love, love to do. And I've even grown to love going to the gym. So start off slow, start off small, just some movement, anything at all that gets you sweating. That's all you need. Okay, you're going to notice that the lighting has changed, and that's only because my natural light has gone away. And so I had to turn on the lights overhead, so the lighting's going to be off because I still have 2 more questions to answer. My next question comes from my good friend Gina at Kowalski_GT. And her question is, what do you do to help your body recover from an intense workout? Well, number 1, I stretch before I work out and after I work out, my little cool down period. I also drink protein shakes after, or I'll have a snack that is higher in protein. Apparently that helps with muscle recovery. Another thing that I love to do is take a warm shower after the gym or sit in the sauna for a bit. I feel like that helps my muscles relax a little bit. Some people disagree. Some people say that you should actually take a hot shower or go into the sauna before going to the gym because that helps warm up your muscles, but I just prefer it after. Oh, from time to time, I will get some cramping in my calves, so I do enjoy also rubbing peppermint oil or cream with peppermint infused in it, because I feel like that really cools it down and really helps my muscles. I just massage it in. I also drink lots and lots of water, and I also use the rollers at the gym, the massage rollers, the foam rollers. If you don't know how to use those, or if you've never used those before, ask somebody, because those are incredible. They really, really help. And my last question is from Jackie at in.the.studio. And she actually did not post this question to my question and answer section, but she posted on one of my pictures. But I felt really compelled to answer this question here because it's a question that I get a lot. And it's actually a question that I was very curious about when I was researching tummy tuck surgery. Her question was, I get mixed thoughts about having skin removal surgery if I want more kids. Did you talk about skin removal and future kids with your doctor, and what is your opinion on the matter? Okay, so I'm only 33. When I had my tummy tuck, I was 32. When I started my weight loss journey, I was 30. So I don't have kids right now, but I love kids. I'm a teacher, so it's part of my job. I love being an aunt, and I think I'm happy being an aunt, but I don't know what the future will bring. In all honesty, I haven't met that person that I've been dying to have kids with, so I just don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know how I'm going to feel. I didn't want to cut myself off. I didn't want to limit myself in any way. So when I went to my doctor for my consult, this was the number one question on my list. And it's something that I had to think about, and it's something that I had to talk to him about. Because basically, how my tummy detached from my muscles, he wanted to do an upside down T incision so that it would go up through my belly button and across the bottom. And I was fine with that. That was going to be the optimal skin removal. Unfortunately, that would leave me with no room to have children. So that was one option. The other option was the extended tummy tuck, and he would pull off as much skin as possible, but, you know, and give me a more natural look. So when I bend over, like, I still have a little bit of skin hanging, but that would leave me open to have children in the future. That is ultimately the choice that I made. But saying that, we did talk about, if I change my mind, if I decide not to have kids, or if I have kids after, it's fairly easy for him to go in and do a revision and fix it up. No problem. It's not closing the door on, you know, the full effects of a tummy tuck, the full results. But overall, I'm really happy with my decision. I'm glad I didn't wait any longer. I was kind of stuck at that age where it's like, okay, I'm 30, so am I going to wait till 40 to have the tummy that I've been dreaming of, that I've been working so hard for? Or, you know, it's so hard. And so I think it's a personal decision. I think it's something that you really have to think about. It's something you have to weigh, something you have to discuss with your doctor, but this is the path I chose, and I am very happy. I have no regrets, and if I want to go back, and if I really want to get that flat, I can always go back and get a revision, and can go up through my belly button and take the extra skin off. But overall, I'm really happy. I was just tired of looking and feeling uncomfortable in my own skin. I didn't care if it was more natural looking. You know, natural is what I was going for. I don't need to be perfect. Okay, that about wraps up my first question and answer period with you guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got some information that you were looking for, and I hope I didn't bore you to tears. I know I can ramble sometimes. If you have any additional comments or questions, please feel free to leave them in the section below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Have a great night. You got this.